Sean P. Diddy Combs' family arrived for day one of his sex trafficking trial.
How is your father feeling today?
They walked into the federal courthouse in Manhattan, hand in hand, in a gesture of solidarity.
It's the kind of story you only see in movies, except this time, it's real. The world is watching as Diddy, one of the most powerful men in hip-hop, faces a trial that could bring down his entire empire. In the center of it all, his own family, standing by his side as dark secrets spill out in a New York courtroom. But this isn't just about Diddy. This is about family loyalty, shocking accusations, and a moment in court that could change everything. What did Diddy's son do that left even the judge in shock? Let's break it all down.
What's up, y'all? It's King Kong. And right now I'm taking over my pop's Instagram. We're gonna be posting videos by spreading, good energy and taking y'all down memory lane and all the positive things he did.
When Diddy walked into court, he didn't come alone. His children, dressed in their best, heads held high, walked with him, forming a wall of support. Cameras flashed as Christian King Combs took the lead. Not only is he supporting his father, he's posting on social media, sharing memories, and asking fans to remember the good times. To outsiders, the message is clear. This is a family that sticks together, no matter what. Even as the headlines get worse, Diddy's children show up, day after day, determined to stand by their father. For the jury, it's impossible to ignore. How could someone be so bad if his own kids believe in him this much? Or are they just trying to protect him from the truth?
You've been to some crazy parties, I'm sure. What's the strangest interaction you've had at a party that was like, what's happening right now?
I remember I was lit and I just started dancing with Paris Hilton. I was like, this is kind of crazy.
That is kind of nuts. What song was playing?
I don't even know. It was one of those nights.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But what's happening inside the courtroom is even more intense. Inside, the courtroom is tense. Prosecutors aren't holding back. They're charging Diddy with running a criminal operation, trafficking, violence, and a decade of corruption. The details are so shocking that even Diddy's family members have to leave the room at times. His twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie, can't handle the graphic testimony. They walk out, faces pale, unable to listen to what's being said. The accusations are more than just rumors. They paint a picture of secret parties, forced actions, and threats. The courtroom becomes a battleground.
Diddy's family is by his side as he appears in court, as the music mogul faces charges of racketeering, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution, all of which he has pleaded not guilty to.
Not just for Diddy, but for everyone who ever believed in him. At the center of it all is Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-partner, who's about to change the direction of the entire trial. For over a decade, Cassie Ventura seemed to live a dream life. Fashion shows, red carpets, and a romance with one of the most powerful men in music. But as she takes the witness stand, the illusion shatters. Cassie isn't just telling her story. She's exposing an entire hidden world behind the bright lights and magazine covers. A world built on fear, control, and secrecy.
Ventura, who is 38 years old and currently 8 months pregnant with her third child, came face to face with Sean Combs in the courtroom yesterday, the man who she says controlled every aspect of her life since she was 22 years old.
As the courtroom falls silent, Cassie describes how her relationship with Diddy quickly turned from glamorous to disturbing. In public, they were the picture of celebrity power. But in private, she says, things were very different. Cassie claims she was pressured into participating in what Diddy called freak-offs, secret parties that didn't feel like parties at all. According to Cassie, these weren't wild nights with friends. They were carefully planned events, lasting for hours or even days, where the rules were set by Diddy. She says she was forced to take part in acts she never wanted, often with strangers, while Diddy either watched or filmed everything.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
Sometimes she was given substances to keep her compliant. Other times, she felt like she was just playing a role in someone else's twisted fantasy, unable to escape. Her voice breaks as she describes the feeling of total powerlessness. She tells the court there were times she begged to stop, but Diddy's answer was always the same. Threats, manipulation, or a cold stare that let her know saying no wasn't really an option. Cassie claims Diddy would use hidden cameras to record these moments, warning her that if she ever spoke out or tried to leave, The videos could ruin her life.
As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled.
The cameras, she says, became a constant threat, proof that her every move was being watched and that her silence could be bought with fear. Cassie explains that these freak-offs were more than just secret gatherings. They were a form of control. She says Diddy would arrange for certain people to be there, choose the location, and make sure everyone knew who was in charge. And even when the events ended, the anxiety didn't. Cassie describes sleepless nights, worried that Diddy might use the videos against her.
And then Cassie Ventura's mother, Regina Ventura, talked about taking pictures with a Kodak digital camera of all the bruises all over her daughter's body because she said she wanted to memorialize them.
Or that something even worse might happen if she tried to walk away. But her most shocking moment comes when the prosecution plays a piece of undeniable evidence, a hotel security video from 2016. The entire courtroom watches as Diddy is seen chasing Cassie down a hallway, grabbing her, kicking her, and dragging her on the ground. Suddenly, it's not just her word against his. The jury is seeing what she lived through. The atmosphere in the room changes. Even the most skeptical faces seem shaken. Yet, as Cassie continues her testimony, it becomes clear that this video is only the tip of the iceberg. She says there are more recordings out there.
We're talking about what happens at Diddy parties, stays at Diddy parties, and finally you learn via the press that actually Diddy has been collecting evidence on all of you, and you don't know where those tapes are. That will buy your silence for quite some time.
Digital files stored on devices, secret footage from hidden cameras, hours of private moments no one was ever meant to see. The prosecution hints that investigators found a collection of surveillance equipment during raids on Diddy's homes. The suggestion is chilling. If all of these files come to light, they could reveal not just Cassie's story, but the stories of many others. Cassie's testimony leaves the courtroom unsettled. The contrast between the glamorous world everyone thought she lived in and the nightmare she describes is almost too much to take in. But for the jury, the message is clear. What happens behind closed doors isn't always what it seems.
Today, we can expect attorneys for Mr. Combs to try to poke holes into the account of Cassie, saying that she was a willing and active participant in these freak-offs.
And the truth might be even darker than anyone imagined. But the real question remains. What will happen if these secret recordings ever see the light of day? And if Cassie's claims are true, how many more victims are still out there, silenced by fear, secrets, and the promise of fame? When agents raided Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles, they found more than gold records and fancy clothes. Hidden among his things were thousands of bottles of baby oil and high-tech surveillance equipment. Prosecutors say these weren't just for show. These were used to record private, intimate moments, often without people's full knowledge. Cassie says Diddy kept these videos as leverage, something to keep people quiet and compliant. If true, it's not just embarrassing for Diddy. It's a legal nightmare, and it makes the case against him much stronger. Now, the world is wondering, what else is out there, and will it ever be revealed? But Diddy isn't the only one on trial in the public eye. His sons, Justin and Christian, have been dragged into the mess too. Lawsuits accuse them of helping organize parties or worse, though so far, these are civil claims, not criminal charges. Still, their presence in court makes things more complicated. Are they victims, or did they play a bigger role? No one can say for sure, and public opinion is split. Some say they're just supporting their father. Others think there's more to the story. Just when it looks like prosecutors have a slam dunk case, something unexpected happens. One of their key witnesses disappears. Gone. No explanation. The defense jumps on this, demanding a mistrial, saying the case is falling apart. Suddenly, things aren't so certain. The prosecution scrambles to replace the witness, but the defense now has room to create doubt and confusion. For Diddy and his family, it's a small glimmer of hope. Then comes another dramatic twist. A former hotel security guard testifies, revealing hidden surveillance footage of Diddy's assault on Cassie. When the video plays, the courtroom is silent. Diddy looks shaken.
Diddy's mom, Janice Combs, sons Quincy, Justin, and Christian, as well as 18-year-old daughter Chance and 17-year-old twins Delilah and Jesse, have all been in the courtroom.
The defense tries to discredit the guard, but the evidence is hard to ignore. The jury is left with a difficult choice. Believe the footage, or believe the man they once idolized. Prosecutors aren't giving up. They introduce new witnesses and more details, trying to prove that Diddy wasn't just a bad boyfriend. He was the leader of a criminal ring. They say employees booked hotel rooms, arranged for recovery IVs, and helped keep the whole thing running. It's not just about one man. It's about an entire system built on secrecy and control. Diddy's lawyers hit back. They admit he's made mistakes, but say everything that happened was between consenting adults. They focus on family, pointing to the support he gets from his children. The defense argues that Diddy is being targeted because he's famous, not because he's guilty. For the jury, it's a tough decision. Is this a criminal mastermind or just a celebrity caught in a storm of bad choices? No matter which way the jury leans, one fact is impossible to ignore. Diddy's once untouchable reputation is now in pieces. Before these allegations surfaced, his name was everywhere. Music festivals, endorsement deals, fashion campaigns, and magazine covers. Now, one by one, brands are running for cover. Sponsorships are quietly pulled, corporate partnerships vanish overnight. Longtime collaborators in the music world keep their distance, worried that any association might drag them down too. And it's not just Diddy paying the price. His sons, once celebrated as heirs to a hip-hop dynasty, suddenly find their own careers in limbo. Christian King Combs, who had started to carve out a music identity separate from his father, now faces radio silence from labels and promoters. Justin, known for both music and media appearances, is seeing opportunities evaporate. Bookings dry up. Invitations stop coming. The family's social media pages, once filled with fans and endorsements, are now battlegrounds of controversy and debate. Inside the industry, the shockwaves are huge. Executives who once courted Diddy's approval are scrambling to protect their own brands, issuing carefully worded statements and severing ties.
The whole entire family will be here today. Yeah.
It was a family affair inside the courtroom. Diddy entered the court wearing a white shirt and a casual crew neck sweater. He faced his mom and his kids and placed his hand on his heart, made a symbol of the heart with his fingers, and blew them a kiss.
Some experts say this is the beginning of a long overdue reckoning in the music world, a moment when power, privilege, and celebrity can't hide the truth anymore. Quiet conversations ripple through boardrooms and recording studios. Who's next? What other secrets are about to be exposed? But there's another side. For every call for justice, there are those who doubt anything will really change. Some industry insiders believe the cycle will repeat. The news will move on, and the next scandal will replace this one in the headlines. People point out that, time after time, famous figures weather the storm, rebuild their images, and step back into the spotlight as if nothing happened. Maybe Diddy's story will be different. Maybe not. For Diddy's family, though, the damage goes beyond lost deals or fading fame. The trial has turned private pain into public spectacle. Every headline, every new leak becomes another wound. Relationships inside the family are tested under the harsh light of public judgment. No matter what happens in court, the scars will remain. In the end, one thing is certain. The Diddy case has shattered the myth that fame is bulletproof. The fallout reaches far beyond the courtroom, touching careers, friendships, business empires, and even the foundation of the music industry itself. Whether this is a real turning point or just another dark chapter depends on what happens next, and who has the courage to speak out when the spotlight fades. So, is this the moment when truth finally wins? Or will it be just another scandal swept under the rug? What do you believe? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This isn't just about Diddy. It's about power, loyalty, and the secrets that shape the industry.